Question number 2, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement, quotes, "Ministers find it a little bit irritating," end quotes, when asking for funding, and which ministers was he referring to?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I stand by my full statement, which was all propositions for expenditure of significant public money have to go through a thorough process. Sometimes ministers find it a little bit irritating. Probably all ministers find it a little bit irritating at some stage. However, we know that that didn't happen in the last Labor government because they just shovelled out money to any minister who asked for anything.
So that's why you had plenty in the bank when you came in.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Did the Minister for Police become irritated when the minister's underfunding forced her to break her election promise to maintain a police to population ratio of 1 to 500?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I'm not exactly sure what the member's referring to, but there's been, you would expect that in a government that focuses on law and order and the safety of our communities, there's always discussion about how we can deal with those issues.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Did the Minister of Police ask him in June for more funding for more police, and did he notice her irritation?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the Minister for Police, like the Minister of Health and all other ministers, I've found to be persistent and strong advocates, not just for more money, fortunately in this government, but for more effective use of public money to get results. That's how we all operate.
Supplementary.
So why are burglaries going up?
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Does he find it a little bit irritating that after he and Jonathan Coleman agreed to keep health $1.7 billion underfunded, Jonathan Coleman is now publicly complaining health is not properly funded?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I'm not sure what the member is referring to, but no, I don't find it irritating.
The paper's more often. Supplementary.
Exactly.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Is he proud that his $1.7 billion underfunding of health has led to patients in Dunedin being served reheated slop that was cooked in Auckland?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I understand the provision of food in Dunedin, as tested by the Minister of Health, actually wasn't too bad. But with respect to health funding, the government's this government makes it quite clear it will fund services that make a difference to people's lives.
Supplementary.
So food's not important.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Did he find it a little bit irritating when Paula Bennett announced her relocation grants policy the day before the budget without telling him?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, it's great to see ministers taking initiative. And in general, I don't get near as irritated as that member.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Did he find it a little bit irritating to discover that Simon Bridges' policy had been invented the night before its release and against NZTA advice that these bridges were not a prudent use of taxpayer funds?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, but the government disagreed with the advice and Northlanders are seeing progress on those bridges.